Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today we're going to be doing a comparison between the iPhone SE and the Note 20 Ultra. I know they're in different categories, but I'm very curious to see how Apple's budget iPhone compares to Samsung's top-end flagship phone, the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. Before we start, drop a like button, and if you make it halfway into my video, you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Anyways, let's start. We are going to start with the design comparison. Let's start with the iPhone SE. Although an old design, it looks good in 2020. A light port and speaker at the bottom of the phone, and on the side you're going to find the same tray and the power button, and on the other side you're going to find the volume rocker, a single lens camera system, and it has a glass back for wireless charging and that premium feel in the hands. The Note 20 Ultra on the other hand, it also has a glass back, but it has been covered with deep brand skin, so I can't really take it off right now. No button on the left side of the phone, and on the right side of the phone you're going to find both the power button and the volume rocker on the same side. I guess that's an Android thing. A triple lens camera system with a huge bump, and below the phone you're going to find the S Pen, which I don't really use, the speaker, and the USB-C port. Now in terms of size, the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra dwarfs the iPhone SE, and we're going to talk about size later on. Both phones has water and dust resistant IP68 in fact. Anyway, that's it for the comparison between the design of the Note 20 Ultra and the iPhone SE. Now let's turn off both phones and see which one actually boots up first. Anyways, it seems that the Note 20 Ultra started first, and let's see which one is going to finish first. Hey guys, meet Mr. Wobblyhead. Oh yeah, the iPhone SE actually finished first. It started a little bit late, but it finished first. That's actually very interesting. The Note 20 Ultra started first, but now it's trying to catch up with the iPhone SE. Anyways, that's a point for the iPhone SE. Both phones do have a fingerprint reader. The one on the iPhone SE is actually old school. I mean, old school with an air coat. You can't really see me, but I'm putting an air coat in it. The one on the Note 20 Ultra is an ultrasonic fingerprint reader. It's actually a new technology, and let's see how they compare to each other. They're pretty much fast. Both of them are pretty much fast, and they'll pretty much work at the same speed. But the thing I noticed about the fingerprint on the Note 20 Ultra is that once your thumb gets a little bit wet, it doesn't really work all the time. So the fingerprint reader on the Note 20 Ultra is cool, it's a new technology, but the one on the iPhone SE is more reliable because it works most of the time, or at least more than the Note 20 Ultra, in my own opinion. Now let's talk about the display. The display on the iPhone SE is a 4.7-inch LCD display, but in my opinion the best LCD display I've seen on any smartphone. LCD displays don't always have true blacks, but the LCD on the iPhone SE is actually, it's very close to true black. If I wasn't told, I would actually think the display on the iPhone SE is an OLED display. I'm very impressed with the LCD display on the iPhone SE. The Note 20 Ultra on the other hand has a 6.9-inch AMOLED display with 120Hz adaptive refresh rate. The one on the iPhone SE is 60Hz. That's the base. Most phones do have 60Hz. Anyways, everyone knows that Samsung makes the best display on anything that has a display. And it's even possible that the display on the iPhone SE was actually made by Samsung, because Apple don't make their own display. They either buy it from Samsung, LG, and one other Chinese company. So I won't be surprised if the display on the iPhone SE was made by Samsung, because the display on the iPhone SE is actually very impressive. Now let's move on to the camera system of both phones. The iPhone SE obviously has a single lens camera system, and it's a 12 megapixel wide camera and a f1.8 aperture. The Note 20 Ultra has a triple lens camera system, a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, a 108 megapixel wide angle camera, man that's a lot of pixels, and a 12 megapixel telephoto camera. Now let's take some sample pictures. I can confidently say that iPhones do have a better camera system than Samsung, but not by a very big difference. But Apple is still leading when it comes to camera and what their camera is capable of doing. Now comparing both pictures seems to have a lot of details, but the one on the Note 20 Ultra seems to be like blown out, or maybe it's lacking contrast or something like that. I'm not really an expert when it comes to analyzing pictures and stuff like that, but obviously you can tell the difference between the iPhone SE and the Note 20 Ultra, and most people are going to go for the picture on the iPhone SE. But the Note 20 Ultra has a special feature. It can shoot 8K up to 24 frames per second. That's just awesome. Anyways, let's move on to the battery size. The iPhone SE has close to 3000 mAh battery. I mean, Apple did not really give an official amount of battery size on the Note 20 Ultra, but it's very close to 2000 mAh battery since it's similar to the iPhone 8. The Note 20 Ultra on the other hand has a 4500 mAh battery. That's more than twice the battery size on the iPhone SE. But is the battery life actually twice that of the iPhone SE? I don't really think so, because there's a lot of factors you have to consider into this stuff. One, the Note 20 Ultra has a bigger display and is way brighter, 120Hz refresh rate, and is also an OLED display. In my opinion, I feel like iOS is more optimized to consume less power than Android. I mean, the difference might not be crazy much, but iOS is actually very optimized for power consumption. But still, the Note 20 Ultra has a better battery life than the iPhone SE, but it's not like in the ratio of what their battery size actually is. Now let's move on to gaming. Both phones are capable of playing very intense and complex games because both phones are powered by flagship processor. The Note 20 Ultra is powered by Snapdragon 865 Plus, while the iPhone SE is powered by the A13 Bionic chip. Both chips are flagship chips, and the most powerful chip you can find on the Android side is the Snapdragon 865 Plus, and the most powerful one till date is A13 Bionic chip. I know the A14 Bionic chip has been announced in Apple's last event, but it's not yet on any iPhone at least. So the Note 20 Ultra has 8GB of RAM, while the iPhone SE has very close to like 2GB of RAM. The only limiting factor when it comes to gaming on the iPhone SE is the fact that the iPhone SE has a very small display. But in my opinion, I just feel like you need a bigger display when it comes to gaming. So the Note 20 Ultra will actually offer a more immersive gaming experience. Now let's wrap up this video with a quick speed test. I'm going to cancel all the apps in the background. Okay, now that is done, let's start with YouTube. By the way, if you made it this far into this video, I mean, you need to subscribe. Like, you really need to subscribe. Anyways, the Note 20 Ultra actually destroyed the iPhone SE. It did not even load. I mean, both phones are on the same Wi-Fi, by the way. So that's the point for the Note 20 Ultra. Amazon. Note 20 Ultra. But the difference was like milliseconds or something like that. So I would say it's a draw on this one because they're pretty much loading and refreshing at the same time. So I'm going to say it's a draw. And the Note 20 Ultra might actually have an upper hand. One, it has a bigger RAM, and the storage on the Note 20 Ultra is actually UFS 3.1. That's a different type of storage, which is like 60% faster than UFS 3.0 on the iPhone SE. So the Note 20 Ultra has an upper hand. In my opinion, I still feel like the A13 Bionic chip is more powerful than the Snapdragon 865 Plus, but there are so many other things that factor in when it comes to speed, like RAM, the type of storage, and the processing power. So the Note 20 Ultra might have a slightly weaker processing power, but it has a bigger RAM, and the storage is actually faster than that of the iPhone SE. I will not be surprised if the Note 20 Ultra actually beats the iPhone SE, but let's see. Netflix. Once again, the Note 20 Ultra wins that. Instagram. Yeah, finally, the iPhone SE actually wins this one. I'm actually impressed with the iPhone SE considering the price difference between the Note 20 Ultra and the iPhone SE. Let's just end the speed test right there. The Note 20 Ultra actually beats the iPhone SE in this round, but not by a very big difference, like considering the price difference. And speaking of price, the Note 20 Ultra starts at $1299 for the 64GB version, while the iPhone SE starts at $399 for also 64GB version. The price ratio between the Note 20 Ultra and the iPhone SE is actually 3:1. But the question is that, is what to get on both phones actually in that same ratio, 3:1? No, not really. It's more like 1.5:1 in my opinion, not 3:1. Like, not really, not 3:1. It's more like 1.5:1. Let's see. iPhone SE versus Note 20 Ultra. What do they have to offer? Both phones have a great display. On the iPhone SE, you get Lightning port with fast charging. On the Note 20 Ultra, it has USB-C with also fast charging. I mean, most people prefer USB-C, and I can't wait for iPhones to start having USB-C. Anyways, both phones has wireless charging. Both phones has water and dust resistant. Base storage on the Note 20 Ultra is 64GB. The base storage on the Note 20 Ultra is also 64GB. The iPhone SE is powered by the A13 Bionic chip, while the Note 20 Ultra is powered by the Snapdragon 865 Plus. 2GB of RAM on the iPhone SE, 8GB of RAM on the Note 20 Ultra. A 4.7-inch LCD display on the iPhone SE with 60Hz, a 6.9-inch OLED display, 120Hz on the Note 20 Ultra. A more reliable fingerprint reader on the iPhone SE, a very cool and innovative brand new ultrasonic fingerprint reader on the Note 20 Ultra. So all the things I've been mentioning right now, try to answer the question. Is what you get in the ratio of 3 to 1? No, not really. The main purpose of this video is to prove that Apple's budget smartphone can actually compete with the greatest flagship on the Android side. Like, Apple makes the best budget smartphone, in my opinion. Anyways, if you guys really enjoyed this video, a sub to my channel is going to help me a lot. And if you drop a like button, YouTube is going to recommend my video to other people, and I really appreciate that. Anyways, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.